Masai Mara, Kenya, the territory that holds the mysteries of the alliance between baboons and lions. When drought takes hold, feared and brutal hunts will stretch without end. What do you think this primate species will do to survive? The answer lies in baboon hunter, the most feared primate in Kenya, Masai Mara, southwest Kenya. Here, the supreme law of survival, no one survives alone, and the strangest, most unlikely alliance is between the lion and the baboon. But it begins with an agreement, something that has kept this savanna intact for millions of years. 6:30 in the morning. The sun is already golden enough for the animals to start moving. The greater kudu, an adult male, 300 kilograms, twisted horns 2 meters tall. Among African antelopes, the kudu is second in size only to the eland. A male kudu, one lioness cannot bring it down. It takes at least 2, better still, 3. A deceptive silence. A young baboon makes a sound, but not to warn, to hunt. The hunt has already begun before the kudu even notices. Every second, the kudu moves 1 meter closer to the watering hole. Every second, its escape route shortens. This is the mathematics of a hunt carried out by 2 species, not one. 6:50. The savanna holds its breath. Though no sound has warned her, the queen is in no hurry. She never was in her entire hunting career. But the lion eats first, by the hierarchy that has existed since the first day of the reign. Researchers observe the feeding order. It is not mere courtesy. It prevents the troop from breaking apart during the great meal. If everyone rushes in at once, internal casualties exceed those of the hunt. As the feast draws to an end, making room for the allies above to collect the remains, 2 kingdoms eat the same prey without invading one another, and life goes on. Today is an ordinary day in Masai Mara. Tomorrow will not be. Above the acacia, the soil is already cracked. The drought has lasted longer than memory reaches. A male cheetah, the fastest land animal on the planet, 110 kilometers per hour over short distances. Adult male cheetahs usually form coalitions of 2 to 3 individuals. However, this individual lost his partner 3 months ago. Walking alone means being 50% weaker, but today, the cheetah is starving, 4 days without eating. Ahead, 500 meters away, a herd of Thompson's gazelles grazes. The baboon troop begins sending threat signals. The pact of this watering hole does not prohibit the cheetah from passing through, but it does prohibit the cheetah from hunting here. The cheetah does not understand, or is too hungry to care. For 60 seconds, the cheetah is the scythe of fate, but the glory lasts only an instant before exhaustion arrives. Even so, the baboons will not allow any predator to break the order in this territory. This cheetah will have to spend 1 more day without food. Today is a good day in the records of the pact, but hunger was never a pretty script. 3 days later, the baboon troop will face a question the pact does not answer. If the baboon itself is also hungry, and the baboon itself also has the chance to hunt, what will it do? Every drought in Masai Mara has a peak of cruelty. It usually falls between the 9th and 12th week after the last rain. This is the 10th week. The drought is no longer a challenge. It is a suspended sentence over the entire kingdom of Mara. The energy of the pasture falls below the threshold of life. Hunger is now the serpent in the Garden of Eden, whispering of a betrayal. To survive, the baboon's omnivore instinct awakens. The sentinel high above no longer looks at the sky. He looks down, at the weakness trembling on the ground. 2 consciousnesses enter into conflict in the baboon's mind. The first is the instinct of hunger, eat. The second was learned in the troop, in the pact, not today. The hunger of 3 days has won. The baboon did not just break the pact, he revealed his nature as a predator. And the baboon does not only hunt when hunger strikes by chance. In another savanna, a female transformed hunting into a profession. At the time impalas give birth, their young are her target. It is rare for a female baboon to hunt on her own initiative, but she would ambush and kill impala calves with the cold precision of a leopard. The most chilling part, the impala herd kept grazing right alongside the baboons. They did not realize that the one who killed the calf was right there. And it is not only gazelles or impalas. A large male baboon has even killed a vervet monkey, a fellow primate. On his menu, meat is a delicacy. In the book of Genesis, there is a garden called Eden. The law there, do not eat the forbidden fruit. And in this savanna, the male baboon is the one who ate it. What will be the future of the baboon troop now that the pact has been broken? Share your guess in the comments. When the smell of the broken pact spreads, it is not only the current king who notices, the kings of neighboring territories also catch its scent. For them, that smell is not a threat, it is an opportunity. Dawn in Masai Mara does not wake anyone, it simply arrives, like a truth every animal must face. When the first light touches the grass, the alpha baboon is still in the acacia. He waited, he foresaw, and now he sees. This young lion did not appear by chance. He arrives with a history. The smell of him, which the alpha baboon read in the wind the night before, tells the story of a coalition that crossed many lands in the Mara Triangle near Tanzania. They brought down a male buffalo, a rare feat. A male buffalo is usually stronger than 3 lions combined, and at the bend of the Mara River, they killed wildebeest in numbers, not from hunger, but to send a message. This land of Masai Mara, from today, is theirs. The old king calculates his chance of victory, below 20%. Today the old king still lives, but the power in this land is no longer his. 24 hours after the new king takes the territory, a new male lion usually dedicates the first 12 to 48 hours to marking his domain. The new king needs to quickly identify which species was active on the old land. He does not yet know the full history of the pact. He knows only one thing. There is a species hunting the same prey as him. That is already reason enough to act. The queen closest to the king will execute the sentence. She measures, counts the individuals, looks for the weak point. The sentence is carried out, a dynasty of blood begins from a loss. The concentration of cortisol in the primate troop reaches an alarming peak. Today the alpha baboon creates a rivalry, but to take revenge, the troop needs unity. And after those brutal days, the troop no longer has unity. In Masai Mara, a baboon troop has on average 30 to 50 individuals. Some of the largest troops in East Africa exceed 120. In Kenya's Rift Valley, volcanic rock is a fortress that protects them from the darkness. Night falls, and hyenas surround the entrance of the cave, but they cannot scale the stone wall. The intelligence of choosing where to sleep has saved the troop once again. The life of a baboon was never peaceful. They spend up to 75% of the day just searching for food. And in the first 8 weeks of life, kidnapping is the leading cause of death among the young. Each individual has a clear hierarchy in age, lineage, and prestige accumulated over time. After a great loss, the troop reorganizes hierarchy, roles, and responsibilities. This process is usually silent. Sometimes it is not. The internal war ends in allogrooming, a biological mechanism that releases oxytocin. A false calm takes over everything. In the red eyes of the alpha, compassion has died since the pact was torn. He looks toward the den of the tyrant lion. A plan ignites. The blood of the cubs will be the price of the fallen dynasty. The savanna never forgets, and today it collects everything back. The target of revenge is absolute fragility, lion cubs in their most vulnerable state. Born to reign, they are now only defenseless creatures. They cannot even regulate their own temperature yet. The rosette markings in their fur, a masterpiece of camouflage against ground-level enemies, become the crosshair under the watcher's gaze from above. The tragedy happens at the point of exhaustion. The lioness sinks into oxygen debt after the hunt. Unwillingly, the vulnerable moment arrives. In your opinion, what will be the fate of that lion cub? Share in the comments and leave a like if you enjoyed this story. But Masai Mara does not have only lions. There are many other species. They do not care about the pact. They do not care about revenge. They only care about the next meal. The clearest proof that the baboon is a predator is at Lake Bogoria in Kenya. In July, almost 4 million flamingos paint the alkaline water pink. The baboon lives here year-round. and it notices that sea of birds is a banquet. In the relentless architecture of nature, the moment a creature feels most safe is precisely when danger lurks closest. A young baboon gets lost in its own curiosity. It leaves the protection belt of the troop, a mistake of just a few centimeters. The price is an entire lifetime. He knows he has just lit a bomb. The game reverses. One who just triumphed with his prey now tastes the bitter flavor before an enraged troop of primates. The debt with the leopard has just been collected. But the savannah gives no time for recovery because there is an enemy that needs no stage. They arrive at the same time, united, the most disciplined of the savannah. The African wild dog does not come to pick up protein scraps. Their pursuit instinct desires a heart still beating, a hunt with an 80% success rate, a number that makes any attempt at escape futile. In the midst of chaos and the exhaustion of 2 consecutive battles, a mistake emerges. The encirclement begins without a roar of intimidation, only a sequence of whines, the deadly melody of pack coordination. The wild dog desires protein, but they are also masters at managing risk. They retreat. The peace under the shadow of the baobab is just a short interval. The hunger for protein pushes the warriors into an all-or-nothing gamble, a biological minefield full of crocodile eggs, a rich source of protein and lipids for baboon mothers who run out of milk after months without adequate food. To protect the nest, the mother crocodile is the embodiment of pure protective instinct. To steal the treasure, they choose the most capable. But taking what belongs to another always comes with a suspended sentence, and punishment arrives faster than any prayer. The target is a young baboon who fumbles with a piece of eggshell. The family bond has just defeated the iron jaw. If stealing crocodile eggs is too dangerous, there is a lower risk, higher value hunt that takes priority, invading bird nests along the flooded river margins. The eggs and chicks of the Egyptian goose are the purest energy capsules available. The baboon makes use of its opposable thumb. The tool that once served for gathering now becomes a weapon of nest raiding. The baboon has an impressive pain threshold. Faced with a protein-rich meal, it accepts the pecks in exchange for the lipids and albumin that life demands. When the baboon retreats with the eggshell at the corner of its mouth, the swamp is left with only the silence of loss. There is no royal grandeur, only a pragmatism that sends a chill down the spine of nature itself. Rain falls over Masai Mara. The baboon troop wakes up and, for the first time in 6 days, contemplates a land that has turned green again. Heraclitus, the Greek philosopher, once wrote, "No one steps into the same river twice, because the river has already moved on, and so has the person." In the savannah of East Africa, no baboon sleeps on the same branch twice. No lion hunts the same antelope twice. No dry season is the same as another. Kingdoms arrive, kingdoms depart, but the strategist remains. And that strategist today is the monkey that everyone once underestimated. What did you see today in the savannah that reminded you of yourself? The story of the baboon is just one fragment of Masai Mara. To truly understand this underestimated predator, you must see the entire kingdom that created it. When the last ray fades, the true predators begin their game. But there are things you never knew. Kenya, the heart of the East African savannah. With over 580,000 square kilometers, Kenya is the pulsing heart of the East African savannah, where the plains of Masai Mara meet the snow-capped peak of Kilimanjaro to the south. Every year, more than 1.5 million wildebeest and hundreds of thousands of zebras enter the Great Migration. With over 25,000 animal species, Kenya is not just the home of the lion, the cheetah, or the giraffe. Look at the crowned crane, majestic, with a wingspan of up to 2 meters. Kenya extends along the Rift Valley, one of the greatest geological wonders on the planet. Alkaline lakes like Nakuru and Bogoria are famous for their millions of flamingos. But even this paradise carries an arid climate and brutal competition. And here, balance always comes with a price. Sometimes it is a life swallowed by a predator's claws. Let us begin with those whom the gods entrusted with a mission, the lion. The Maasai tell of Kimba. During a historic drought, the entire savannah collapsed in exhaustion. all had surrendered to one lion pride. Kimba heard the whisper of the gods, lead the pride through death, find the river of eternal souls. That journey was not for the weak. 60 kilometers of dry land without a drop of water, surrounded by enemies. The river where they placed their hope had dried up. When all hope seemed lost, a small river still ran silently through the drought. The Maasai call that place the spring of life of the gods. The water did not only save the lion pride, it resurrected the grass fields themselves. The legend of Kimba does not exist merely to exalt Maasai Mara. Behind it lies the fierce struggle for survival by those who truly govern the savannah. A 2020 study recorded a lion pride in Maasai Mara, covering more than 20 kilometers in 48 hours, an extraordinary effort for a species accustomed to the security of its territory. In that moment, strength lies not in each individual, but in the unity of the pride. The lion is king not only by force, but by an impressive capacity for adaptation. At 225 kilograms, the lion is a top predator. Without the lion, the pasture would be devastated, threatening the entire food chain. It is the invisible guardian of the ecosystem. There is one small creature that dares approach the giants. Its body does not reach half the size of a lion cub, but it makes even golden manes back away. The Maasai call it the warrior of darkness, the honey badger. Its tactic is to attack and retreat, a psychological blow that leaves giants confused. One honey badger named Stoffel, even gravely injured by a lion, returned to invade territory as soon as he healed. Not just brave, frighteningly intelligent. Over 6 millimeters of skin, almost impossible to pierce, it is immune to most attacks. Bitten by a cobra, the venom only knocks it unconscious for a moment, and it wakes as if nothing happened. Researchers in Botswana recorded it daring to confront both the leopard and the hyena. Sometimes the most feared is not the largest, but the one who has never known fear. But the wild kingdom does not rise on strength alone. It also rises on wisdom and the memory of its most ancient souls, souls inscribed in the footsteps of the elephant. Leading a herd of elephants is Matala, a female who has lived through more than 50 dry seasons. At the peak of drought, when the river turned to cracked mud, the herd still looked to the horizon. Dawn is not a time of rest in the dry season. An elephant walks an average of 20 kilometers a day. An adult needs to drink up to 200 liters of water per day. Around 10% of individuals do not reach the destination, but nothing stops them. In the world of elephants, the female leader, like Matala, is also the guardian of the herd's memory. The elephant brain weighs 5 kilograms and contains 257 billion neurons, almost 3 times that of a human. Studies in Kenya show it remembers the exact location of a water source 50 kilometers away, even without having visited it in 10 years. Matala keeps alive secret springs that no one else knows. The elephant also communicates through infrasound, deep sounds the human ear cannot capture, signals that travel more than 10 kilometers. At last, Matala stopped. Before her, the spring of life. The entire herd lowers itself to drink in long gulps, recovering their depleted strength. The calves play and splash water on one another. But the spring of life is also a deadly trap. The mud trembles. A crocodile launches itself from the silt. An elephant like Matala weighs 5 to 6 tons, with the strength to topple large trees. Sensing a far superior rival, the crocodile retreats, returning peace to the savannah. The elephant is not just a guide, it is a perfect design for a hostile environment. The enormous ears are a natural cooling system that helps it withstand 40-degree heat. Empathy is a rare gift in the animal world. The elephant comforts companions in suffering and takes time to mourn those who have departed. Studies in Botswana show it recognizes more than 100 human voices, distinguishing friend from enemy by tone. But not every story is one of unity. When food runs out, 2 males who have contested the top position for years turn on each other. The clash of heads tears through the silence. The winner needs strength, endurance, and intelligence. In the dry season, the survival rate for elephant calves falls to around 50%, but thanks to the protection of the herd, many hold on until the rainy season. When dark clouds arrive, the entire herd smells the approaching rain. Then a new sound fills the air. Hundreds of galloping footsteps. The gazelle appears. The Maasai call the gazelle a gift from God. The Thompson's gazelle stands only 60 to 70 centimeters tall and weighs 20 to 35 kilograms, but reaches 80 kilometers per hour, the second fastest in the savanna, behind only the cheetah. And it was this agile prey that, in Masai Mara, fell before the teeth of a baboon. The Congo, another world. But Kenya is not the only kingdom in Africa. Thousands of kilometers to the west, another world breathes at the heart of the continent. The Congo River winds through nearly 4,700 kilometers of one of the most mysterious ecosystems on the planet. In this half-light, life was never peaceful. The leopard hides among the trunks, an adult weighing more than 60 kilograms, capable of dragging prey to the top of a tree and vanishing into silence. Over the water, a crocodile of more than 5 meters rests motionless like a rotting log. This is wild Congo, the gorilla and the hunters of the most dangerous forest. When dawn covers the Congo swamp in gray mist, the water grows almost still. In the middle of the swamp, a creature rises, cold as a forgotten statue from centuries past, the shoebill, one of the most bizarre birds in Central Africa, reaching 1.4 meters in height with almost 2.5 meters of wingspan. What startles is its heavy beak of around 20 centimeters, curved like an old wooden clog. Its gray-blue plumage and motionless posture make it seem like a prehistoric creature. The shoebill does not hunt by speed, but by absolute patience. It stands still for tens of minutes without blinking, waiting for prey to forget its presence. Over the murky water, a lungfish glides slowly through the mud, and in an instant, the neck lunges and the wings spread, the enormous beak descending on the water like a closing trap. It eats large fish, water snakes, and lizards. Its presence signals that the swamp is still calm and rich in food. The Congo forest extends over more than 500 million acres, a green ocean without end. Called the Green Lung of Africa, it holds 30 billion tons of carbon and spans 6 countries, covering 60% of the territory of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The trees here rise 40 to 50 meters, forming a green ceiling that protects the soil. More than 10,000 plant species thrive here, 30% found nowhere else on Earth. In the midst of this dense forest, the leopard rules as supreme hunter. Its firm body allows it to move with agility through both trees and ground. Its extraordinary climbing ability helps it avoid enemies and ambush from above. It hunts everything from small monkeys, duikers, and birds to fish. The leopard is a master of the art of ambush, moving in silence through the darkness, using trees as perfect camouflage. A lunge from above, a bite to the neck, the hunt ends in silence. But the leopard does not stop there. It drags the prey into the tree, hiding it from hyenas and rival leopards. The same trick we saw in Masai Mara, a good hunter always thinks one step ahead. To the east, the terrain rises toward the Virunga mountain range. From behind the bushes, a huge black shadow emerges slowly, the mountain gorilla, the gentle giant of Virunga. A silverback male weighs more than 150 kilograms with a broad chest and long, powerful arms. His dense fur helps him maintain warmth in the cool, humid mountain climate. In this body, strength does not exist for displaying violence. It is the fruit of millions of years of evolution, muscles to protect, hands to guide, instinct to preserve the life that comes after him. Despite extraordinary strength, the gorilla is not a hunter. Much of life passes at a slow pace, eating new leaves, bamboo shoots, and tender sprouts. A gorilla troop moves like a family. The silverback stays at the center, guiding, observing, and protecting everyone around him. There are adult females, juveniles, and infants cling to their mothers. Suddenly the forest falls silent. A strange sound echoes, and the entire troop freezes. The silverback rises, the enormous body emerging through the mist. He growls, snaps a thick branch, and beats his chest with a sound like an ancient drum. He advances a few steps, drawing a line no one may cross. In that instant, calm becomes primitive strength, born not to destroy, but to protect the family. When the danger passes, the slow rhythm of life returns. The gorilla is also a builder of the forest. The trails it opens, and its droppings, return nutrients to the soil and scatter seeds throughout. The greatest force of nature does not always lie in pursuit or dominance. Sometimes it lies in the moment when a silverback stands before danger, so that the next generation of the ancient forest still has a chance to grow. Another definition of power, not to kill, but to preserve. Further east lie the swamp forests, humid year-round. At 400 to 500 meters of altitude, the great arms of the Congo River pass through the Stanley Falls near Kisangani. Rainfall exceeds 2,000 millimeters per year, with no clear dry season, only water. This is the refuge of rare reptiles, amphibians, and primates. High in the canopy, the Angola colobus moves with lightness in its black and white fur. Without a thumb, its hands have evolved into perfect hooks for climbing. It is a specialist in leaves, bark, and shoots, fruit only a secondary source. Thanks to a multi-chambered stomach, it digests leaves containing tannins and mild toxins. Faced with a hunter, the colobus relies on agility in the canopy. The loud call of the adult male serves as an alarm signal. It rarely descends to the ground, the same survival dilemma that the baboon of Masai Mara solves with intelligence. At the bottom of the basin, Salonga National Park emerges as a green fortress. Many areas can only be reached by boat, descending the river branches. Through murky water, stretches of primary forest so dense that daylight almost disappears. At approximately 33,500 square kilometers, it is the largest protected tropical forest in Africa, larger than Belgium. About 95% of the area is still covered in forest, one of the few intact tropical regions remaining. UNESCO recognized it as a World Heritage Site in 1984. Salonga protects the forest elephant, the Congo peacock, the narrow-snouted crocodile, and a primate found only in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the bonobo. The bonobo is smaller and slimmer than the chimpanzee and shares 98.7% of its DNA with human beings. What makes the bonobo different lies in how it builds its society. While the chimpanzee is characterized by competition among males, the bonobo's life is shaped by bonds among females, a refined survival strategy through cooperation. The bonobo eats mainly fruit, new leaves, and soft stems, sometimes insects and small prey. Every day it covers a few kilometers searching for fruit trees, linking distant forests through invisible trails in the canopy. By eating fruit and scattering seeds, the bonobo becomes the silent sower of the forest. Its presence proves the forest is still rich enough to sustain a large primate. As of 2025, the bonobo remains one of the most fragile symbols of the Congo. The wild population may number only 15,000 to 20,000 individuals, and Salonga alone shelters 8,000 to 18,000 adults. The bonobo does not dominate through prey or brute force. It lives by memory, social relationships, and cooperation, the same weapon the baboon uses to survive. On the other side of the Congo River, another sound echoes, howls and loud beats against tree trunks. The chimpanzee, the wild brother of the human being, an adult weighs 40 to 60 kilograms, but its true strength lies not in its muscles, it lies in memory, learning, and the use of tools. A branch becomes a stick for probing termites. A stone becomes a hammer for cracking seeds. The young observe every gesture. Survival is not only instinct, it is a skill learned and transmitted. Then peace changes quickly. High in the canopy, a group of small monkeys enters the field of vision. The male chimpanzees fall silent immediately. One circles from the side, another blocks from below, cornering the prey in a narrow passage. The hunt does not begin with a roar, but with silent coordination. In seconds, the prey is pulled down amid the euphoric howls of the troop. This is the most savage side of the most intelligent primate. They care for their young and console their companions, but they also know how to hunt, compete, and impose hierarchy by force. In the Congo, the chimpanzee eats fruit and is also an opportunistic hunter, the same two-faced nature we saw in the baboon of Masai Mara. From Masai Mara to Salonga, one truth repeats itself. The primate survives not by prey alone, but by intelligence and cooperation. Our baboon is just one face of that rule. The full roster of the Savanna 2 Kingdom, the Savanna of Kenya and the Forest of the Congo, tell the same story. Now let us go deep into each giant of the ecosystem. On the map of survival in East Africa, there is no room for flourish. If the lion is the crown, the warthog is the rough armor of the land itself. Do not be deceived by its awkward appearance. Every millimeter of the warthog's body is a calculation of evolutionary optimization. It is the only species of the family Suidae perfectly adapted to the relentless savanna. When the sun burns, its thick, sparsely haired skin becomes a natural radiator. Its 2 pairs of tusks are not decoration. The upper pair curves like a protective shield, while the lower pair is sharp as a razor, sharpening itself every time the jaw closes. It does not eat grass like a submissive creature. It kneels. Callous knuckle pads allow it to lower its center of gravity and exploit roots rich in energy. In the mathematics of safety, the warthog understands the value of an escape route. It does not dig burrows. It cleverly takes over old aardvark holes. But observe how it enters home, always in reverse. This is a perfect defense algorithm. Entering rear first, it transforms the mouth of the burrow into a deadly choke point. The predator sees only 2 pairs of tusks emerging from the darkness in a tight space. A single upward thrust can pierce the neck artery of even a hungry leopard. When a roar echoes, the warthog activates its anaerobic acceleration mode, reaching 48 kilometers per hour in an instant. See the tail raised like an antenna, not panic, but a visual flag guiding the young through tall grass. The giraffe, a biological watchtower, designed to see what others only sense through fear. Its 6-meter height is not for show, it is a military advantage. With the largest eyes among terrestrial mammals, the giraffe is the early warning alarm of the savanna. Do not confuse the protrusions on top of its head. These are ossicones, bony structures covered in skin and fur, used to strike rivals. To carry blood to a brain 2 meters above the heart, the giraffe operates the cruelest hydraulic system in nature. Its 11-kilogram heart generates twice the blood pressure of a human, but the tragedy lies in this very perfection. If it lowers its head to drink suddenly, that pressure would destroy the brain. Nature has installed special valves and a network of elastic vessels at the base of the brain, a shock absorber that controls the flow so the giant does not suffer a stroke when bending down. A fragile balance between life and death. Do not be fooled by its serene appearance, as it uses its 50-centimeter tongue between acacia thorns. When war breaks out, the giraffe becomes a heavyweight gladiator. In necking combat, the neck of hundreds of kilograms swings like an iron chain. The ossicone strikes with enough force to break a rival's skull or ribs, but this enormous creature has its own Achilles heel. The most vulnerable moment comes when drinking. To lower its mouth to the water, it must spread its front legs wide apart, a position that destroys any chance of defense. That is precisely when the lion or crocodile awaits the slip, but if a predator thinks the giraffe is easy prey, it is mistaken. Its most fearsome weapon is its 4 long, column-like legs. A single kick is enough to crush the thorax or break the jaw of an adult lion. On the map of power in the savanna, the elephant does not occupy a position. It is the map, a living, mobile fortress of 6 tons. Its most emblematic weapon is not the tusks, it is the trunk. A masterpiece with no bones, containing more than 100,000 muscle bundles. It uses the trunk with a surgeon's precision and a crane's strength, able to lift a 300-kilogram log or pick a single thin blade of grass. More than a respiratory organ, the trunk is a chemical radar, sensing water from several kilometers away, an ability that leads the entire herd through the harshest drought. While other species live in the present, the elephant lives by the past. A matriarch can lead her herd to a water source she passed through just once, 30 years ago. The enormous feet have fat pads that make it walk as lightly as a ghost. It is also a seismic receptor, listening for its kind or distant rain on the horizon. Do not confuse its calm with tameness. When a male elephant enters the state of must, it becomes a destructive force. Testosterone surges 60 times above normal. The dark liquid flowing from its temples signals a hormonal storm. In that state, all social rules are erased. It topples ancient trees and attacks everything in its path, from off-road vehicles to the most experienced predators. The elephant is the only species that reshapes terrain at will. It fells trees to create new pastures, opening paths for antelopes and rodents to thrive. In drought, its tusks become an industrial tool. It digs into dry riverbeds in search of water, unknowingly opening the source of life for thousands of other beings. Near thirst, the elephant is one of the few species with an awareness of death, mourning a companion's body, touching bones with its trunk as if searching for a memory. This empathy transforms the herd into an inviolable army. Over that calm stretch of river stands the most powerful lord, the hippopotamus, the enforcer of territorial instinct. Do not mistake its rounded body for slowness. Over skin 6 centimeters thick lies an impressive defense system. The hippopotamus has no ordinary sweat glands. Instead, it secretes a reddish-orange liquid that many mistake for blood. It is hipposudoric acid, a natural sunscreen and antibiotic at once, protecting sensitive skin from the African sun and healing wounds after territorial disputes. Its jaw opens up to 180 degrees, displaying the most formidable weapon on the savanna, lower tusks of up to 50 centimeters. These teeth are not for eating. They are ivory daggers that self-sharpen, with one sole mission, to pierce a crocodile's skin or shatter the hull of an invading boat. With a bite force of up to 1,800 pounds per square inch, it can cut a large crocodile in half with ease. In the world of the hippopotamus, there is no negotiation, only submission or death. The hippopotamus is a truly amphibious being. By day, it hides in the water to regulate its temperature, turning the riverbed into a giant parking lot. At nightfall, it becomes a pilgrim of darkness. An adult consumes up to 40 kilograms of grass per night, creating neatly trimmed lawns for smaller species to survive. But its greatest contribution lies in its waste. Tons of droppings deposited in the water daily, an enormous source of nitrogen and phosphorus sustaining the entire system of fish and microorganisms. And yet, the hippopotamus is the large mammal that kills the most humans in Africa, far more than the lion or leopard. The danger lies in its unpredictability. Another giant carries the nickname the Black Death, a block of 900 kilograms of muscle with the mindset of an elite soldier, the only member of the Big Five that never learned the idea of surrender. The buffalo's symbolic weapon is not just its pair of horns, it is the thick, bony base covering the top of its skull, called the boss, a perfect shock absorption device. In hierarchy disputes, two giants collide at 50 kilometers per hour. The boss protects the brain from fatal trauma. The curved, sharp horns below are not for goring, they are for hooking and throwing. A single neck movement is enough to tear open an adult lion's belly. The buffalo does not live in a herd, they live in a military alliance. When the herd moves, adult females vote on the direction looking the same way. Their real power lies in unity. Upon hearing a calf's distress call, the entire army charges toward the counterattack, forming a firm wall of horns. Do not mistake the buffalo's quietness for ignorance. It remembers its enemies for many years. The buffalo is famous for mobbing, hunting the predator back on its own initiative. They follow the lion's scent to where the pride sleeps by day, to stage a preemptive sweep. It does not wait to be attacked. It eliminates the threat before it can begin. The most fearsome individuals are not in the herd. They are the old, solitary males known as daga boys. With no one to protect, their irritability reaches its maximum limit. They wallow in mud to cool down and kill parasites, the dry mud becoming natural armor. For a daga boy, any approach is an invasion. The buffalo is an extremely efficient ruminant. Its four-chambered stomach allows it to digest old, dry grass that other grazers refuse. As it grazes, it clears the coarse vegetation and makes way for new grass to sprout. When the dynasties of the ground have divided their borders, the savanna still has room for a ghost of speed, the ostrich, which gave up the sky in exchange for legs that outrun most predators. Most birds have 4 toes. The ostrich is the only species with just 2 per foot. The larger toe, like a natural hoof, supports its full 150 kilograms. The 10-centimeter claw at the tip of that toe is a steel nail. helping it turn at 70 kilometers per hour, its tendons working like springs, launching 5 meters in a single stride. Do not confuse the absence of claws and talons on its face with weakness. The ostrich can kill an experienced predator with a single frontal kick. The impulse can generate a pressure of up to 2,000 pounds per square inch, a downward steel claw strike from above. During the breeding season, the ostrich shares sitting duty with strategy. The female, with her gray feathers, incubates by day, blending with the color of dry grass. The male, in black feathers, takes over at night, becoming an invisible ghost under moonlight. To survive in relentless Africa, they are also masters at regulating water. The ostrich lives many days without drinking directly, extracting moisture from plants and roots. The crisis. But Kenya faces a truth harder than any hunt. The Cathedral of Masai Mara is truly shrinking. Across Africa, the lion population has fallen 43% in just 2 decades. Kenya has around 2,500 wild individuals clinging to the last pieces of territory. Physical barriers grow 20% per year in some areas of the Mara Basin, cutting through the millennia-old migration routes of species, turning the Great Migrations into tightening biological traps. The greatest challenge is the cycle of conflict between humans and wildlife. When the boundary between farms and the conservation corps disappears, livestock invades predator territory, leading to revenge killings by poison or spear. On top of this, climate change pushes the drought beyond the standard 12-week period, drying up the last water reserves and forcing species into endless, bloody battles. But amid this gray picture, hope still ignites. Today, more than 15 community reserves efficiently manage up to 140,000 hectares, generating income for more than 13,000 Maasai families. Technology is also rewriting the future of the great cats. GPS collar systems help predict conflicts in advance, contributing to a remarkable 60% reduction in lions killed in revenge. Practical solutions such as flashing LED lights and reinforced Maasai-style fences protect more than 90% of livestock in critical points, directly eliminating the root of violence between humans and nature. Masai Mara does not need our land. It needs respect for the biological limits it has always had. The dispute between the baboon and the lion is a lesson about survival itself. If we protect these animals, we protect ourselves. If you have witnessed with your own eyes the secrets of survival in these lands of East Africa, share your perspective in the comments. That is the inspiration for the conservation of nature and its rare animals. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to follow the next extraordinary adventures. Keep venturing into the most hostile wildlands through nature's other journeys, life.